Good morning and welcome to our 20-minute email marketing workshop. Today is all about email content, what to say and how to say it to engage your audience and compel them to take action. I'm Dixie, my co-host is Katrine, and today's workshop is the last in our email marketing series, but it's self-contained. So if you're just joining us, you're not behind, you're right on time, but you're always welcome to revisit any of our previous topics on our YouTube channel, Easy Marketing, spelled EZY. So before we dive into creating an email marketing campaign, we need to start with the end game in mind because the goal is not simply to communicate with customers or clients or donors, but to get results for your business or organization. The purpose of email marketing is to reach a defined audience with a targeted message that elicits a desired response. So before you decide what to write, you need to begin by asking yourself a question. What results are you looking for? So these are examples of physical and measurable responses. These actions represent a decision by a person to do something in response to what you're putting out there. It's not a mechanical response, it's human, and it must be measurable. All of these tie back to why you're in business or what's going to keep you in business, generating revenue or donations. So if the responses you're getting don't lead to the bottom line, then you might need to evaluate why you're driving those types of responses. Today, we're going to talk you through how to create and present content that drives the responses you need to help your business or organization grow. So let's think about content. Content is currency on the internet. It's what people are searching for, what they consume, and what they share. It's the thing that they're paying attention to. The content that you share via email can position you as a thought leader and a trusted resource in your space. And people like to do business with organizations that they know, like, and trust. As we go through this presentation, we want you to think about the conversations that you've had with your customers, clients, volunteers, and donors, whether those be face to face conversations, emails, or on social media. Think about what kinds of questions they most frequently ask you. What are their pain points? These are the subjects that you want to cover in your email marketing. Figuring out what you're going to write, your topic, is one of the biggest questions and the biggest hurdle that people encounter when they set out to create an email. The good news is that you know your organization better than anyone, and there's a world of ideas out there for you. So, first and above all else, you want to write about what you know that they don't. This is an opportunity to share your knowledge and raise your profile as an expert in your field. This word cloud has tons of content ideas. So take a moment and look at what's on the screen right now and be thinking of ways that you can explore these ideas for your business. So let's talk through a few examples together. Offerings. So if you have a new product, a new service, you can write a paragraph describing what it does, how it benefits, and then use a photo or a video to share a quick demonstration or a tutorial. If you're a nonprofit, say, and you have an event coming up, send out all the details in a short email, including a link to register. Updates. What's going on? What's new in your organization? Do you have a new location, a new hire? Maybe someone prominent is retiring. You could send out a biography and a photo to your customers and clients. Perhaps you're a nonprofit and you've received a big grant. That's the perfect reason to send out an email update. And if you've had a recent event, you could send out a survey or photos as a follow up to that event. Another one is education. So, again, you are an expert in your field. So, this is your opportunity to weigh in with your perspective on some recent news or a study that's come out. You also want to share your personal know-how. So let's say you're a landscaping company. You could send out an email at the beginning of every season with a good planting schedule for your customers. That's a great way to educate through email. And entertainment. Don't be afraid to show your fun side. Maybe you found some kind of funny video on YouTube that you want to share, or an inspiring quote. You and your employees could even make a fun behind the scenes videos. Those are great ways to show off the personality of your business and the environment and really connect with readers. So all of these are great content ideas. So once you've settled on a topic, you can use this basic outline we're going to show you to create content for any subject. So you're going to start with the last question or the most frequent question that you get from a customer, member, donor, or volunteer. And you're going to develop an email around it using three things: a picture, a paragraph, and a call to action. So in the example we're going to show you, it's a vacation rental company in Hawaii. That's a good business, right? And customers have been asking them what's available for rent in Hawaii. So first, the picture. 90% of information absorbed by the brain is visual. So you really want an image that's going to grab the reader's attention. You can use stock photography, and you don't necessarily need to be selling a product to use visuals. This photo of a beautiful seaside cliff in Hawaii grabs the attention and makes them want to learn more. Next up is the paragraph. So you're going to respond to the questions that people have been asking you. It can be just a few words to introduce a link, maybe a little longer explanation on the subject, or even a series of tips. So in this example here, the paragraph explains that rentals are available and that every third night is free. Little offer there. Finally, you need a call to action. What do you want your audience to do in reaction to your email? So maybe you want them to come in for a consultation, buy a product, register an event, volunteer, or donate. You need to make your call to action prominent and clear. So here, the call to action is a link where readers can go to the vacation company's website and see and then hopefully reserve the available rentals in Kauai. So here we have the final email with its three main elements. At the top of the message, they have a great picture that prominently features the brand. Below that is a headline and a paragraph describing the promotion and answering the question. And then the link, which in this case is their call to action to view the available rentals. And as a bonus, the approach they took with this email is inherently mobile friendly because it's a single column template, not too much text, and it's not too long. So this email is going to look great no matter where the reader opens it, be it their desktop, their cell phone, or even a tablet. Another way of thinking about your content is by organizing it around three basic questions. So this first set of questions is for you for-profit businesses. So first, what are you offering? From a design perspective, this is your headline, and its goal is to stop the reader, to pique their interest, and to make them want to read more. That leads them to the next part, which is your message body. This is your paragraph. This is where you want to answer the question, how will what you're offering help the reader? You want to provide some details and entice them to take action. So maybe 3 to 5 sentences. Make sure you provide just enough information to give them what they need to make a decision. And you want to keep your answers to your questions simple. And lastly, the third question is for the call to action. For this, you want to answer, what should they do next? Tell them specifically what it is you want them to do, and make sure the call to action is easy to find and to click on in your email. So a button here is a great choice. You
Yeah,
might be
and
asking them,
I would probably make that button a little bit more colorful than gray.
yes,
But
exactly.
yes.
Yeah, you want it to tie in with the color scheme of your branding. But here they've used the gray. They could have used the brown or even a complementary color like an orange to make it really stand out. This is the one thing you don't want to bury. So this simple formula of answering these three questions is going to help you write your emails text, and it's going to work for any for-profit business. Mhm. Now, if you're in a nonprofit, the questions are going to be a little bit different. So in your case, you're going to want to answer these three questions. For your headline, it's what are you trying to accomplish? Then in your message body, you want to answer why should the reader care? This is where you're going to elaborate on the problem and provide details to explain why they matter to the reader. Then for the call to action, you'll want to answer, how can the reader get involved? Invite them to take part in solving the problem and helping your cause. So your call to action may be something like feed a hungry child, stop the hate, or give clean water. Hmm. As you're creating your content, remember to write it for the target audience and not for yourself. So you need to consider them and their level of information that they currently have, what is essential for them to know, and then what's in it for them. You don't need to tell your recipient every single thing that you do, and have a bunch of extraneous information. You want your messages to be relevant, short, and focused with a clear call to action. Mhm. So people ask Katrina and I all the time how to increase their opens and clicks, and a lot of it is about making your emails more personal. So first and foremost, don't feel like you have to send the same email to every single one of your customers and leads. So think about Petco. They're not sending emails about cat toys to people they know are dog owners. Same goes for you. You want to segment your list so that the information that people are getting from you is relevant. In terms of style, think about writing as if to one person. So, for those of you out there, and we see you, that you like to send out those email blasts, we want to encourage you to stop using their term. No one wants to be blasted by you. So, no matter how big or small your list is, you want to write to help your audience, and that means writing as if to one person. Similarly, you want to make it conversational. So think about the person that you're trying to help. Maybe it's a customer who came in the other day and had a question. This will help make your content feel more authentic and resonate with the reader. You don't want it to read like some kind of impersonal book report. We recommend using words like you and your, rather than a sort of a third party entity like people or customers. And don't be afraid to show your personality. You don't want to sound like a robot. So you want to think about your brand and how you want it to be perceived and the personality that you want to convey. So, if you're insurance, maybe it's a little bit more serious. But if your brand lends itself to being witty or comedic, definitely go for it. But don't force it. And at the end, what you want readers to think and feel is that there's a real person behind these emails that's trying to help them one on one. When writers fail to heed these principles, that's when things can go south. 38% of email recipients will unsubscribe if they think your content is boring. And when a person unsubscribes, you are not able to communicate with them again. So you really want to avoid that at all costs. Relevance is also key, as 32% will send irrelevant content to their spam folder. And when that happens, that impacts how the email provider, like Gmail or Yahoo, sorts your future messages. So we really want to write for the audience and avoid these two outcomes. Mhm. Now, Katrina is going to talk to us about readability. Katrina?
Yes, and because that's also important when it comes to people reading and quickly um, assess the content of something. And this is part of a long email that we create with lots of events in a neighborhood. And they love to write out everything. So RSVP to email address by Friday the 21st, confirming your attendance to this meeting, and on and on. So, and in this piece, at least it is at the end, but they very often write it so that is kind of in the middle of everything. But Dixie and I and Tony, we rework this so that we have a set look for day, time, location, and RSVP. And you just have to work on it. This is the format that we have decided to use. But you can see here how much easier to quickly see the information that is important. And that is really the call to action in this piece of a long, long newsletter. So I want to point out how important it is to also present the text in a good way. And if we look at the next slide, it comes the same thing, that where you often might get it from someone else, and there are long running sentences describing, in this case, the new fees for barcodes. And then if we go to the next slide, after we work on it a little bit and we use bullet points, we can make this content so much easier to use. So bullet points and short sentences is important when there is fact information that needs to be distributed.
Thank you, Katrina. Those are great examples. I also am a fan of a numbered list, a top 5, a top 10 list. So those are a great way to make your content more readable. So our final tip is about length. We always get questions about what's a good length for an email. So the answer is depends, but basically it's only as long as necessary to convince the reader to take action. So Katrina and I can tell you over 2 decades of doing this, we found that 20 lines of text, or about 200 words, results in the highest click-through rates for most industries. Now, some emails, of course, may be a little longer than others, depending on the type of email and what you're trying to accomplish. Monthly newsletters come to mind, but in general, less is better. You want to provide just enough information to get them interested and to provide important details that's going to be, unique to each email campaign. If you have more information to share, so if you look at these two yoga emails, you might also have information about what to wear if you're coming for the first time or what equipment to bring. Put that information on your website and then include a link to it in the email. That way, people who need that information can easily get it, but your longtime customers don't have to read through it each and every time.
Yeah, and I want to mention that there are emails out there that are long. We are right now working with a client, the Book Sisters, and their newsletter we actually call an e-magazine, because the content there are verses and small essays, and that is the whole content of the newsletter. I mean, in the very end, they want people to share that newsletter and for people to buy the book, but the content there is the writing. And in those cases, it is okay. But anything we showed here today, that is need to be short and sweet.
Absolutely. So as always, a little homework assignment to help you follow through on what we've covered today. So here are a few takeaways to help make your content more impactful and successful. We always recommend that it's helpful to evaluate the emails that you've sent in the past, so the past couple months, to see how they measure up against what we've talked about today. And then, of course, to use these best practices on all your future emails. So if you didn't have time to jot these down, not to worry, we're going to send you a follow-up email this afternoon with a copy of this slide deck as well as a replay of the live video. So with that, we're going to pause a moment to take your questions, and go ahead right now. You can be typing them in the question box. Comments are welcome too. We appreciate your feedback. So we'll do that for a moment. And I see here we have a question. Is it better to send a separate email about each topic or to combine them into a newsletter that covers multiple topics? Okay, so great, amazing question. We're glad you asked. So the answer is going to depend on the amount and type of content that you have, and frankly, just the time and resources that you have to devote to email marketing. So if you're a business that sells products or services that are updated often, or you have a bunch of specials, you could probably send those out more frequently, maybe once a week. I know I'm always getting emails from Chick-fil-A about, what is their seasonal flavor. But if it's something that's not emailed frequently and the content is more informational, then you may think about, combining it into a monthly newsletter and then just sending out those individual one topic emails when you have more timely news to share. So you can do a combination of both things. So like Katrine said, the longer form email newsletter is not going away. You can still do that once a month, but then send out those really quick, short single topic emails for the big news that you want people to take an action on right away. So you want them to register, you want them to buy, you want them to take advantage of that offer. It was a great
Yeah,
question.
and it also depends on what you are, what information you're giving them when you ask them to sign up. I just created a QR code for the sign up for the Book Sisters today, and even in the sign up, I'm saying you can expect 1 to 3 emails a month. And I don't think we're going to do more than one, but I know that we are already planning the Christmas specials. And I know at that time we might be sending 2 or 3. But it's important that people, when they sign up, they know what to expect.
Great. Katrina, any more questions?
No, I don't
All
have
right.
any.
Well, you can email us afterward. We will give you our contact information. So we invite you back in 2 weeks as we're going to shift our focus to visual content. So we'll show you how to use Canva, which is a free platform that helps you create images and graphics and to integrate those with an email service provider like Constant Contact for high quality, eye catching results. We're super excited about this one because this workshop is a direct result of your questions and a poll we took a few weeks ago. So we expect it to be a full house, and we're really jazzed about that. So the link is going to be in your follow-up email today. And as always, it will be a free workshop. And after that, we turn our attention to the holidays. Here in Florida, where I am, it's still in the 90s. So it's a little hard to think about holiday deals. But the holiday season is make or break for many businesses, not just retailers. So you have to start planning early if you want your slice of the holiday pie. So start brainstorming about your Black Friday, Cyber Monday offers, and we will see you back here October 19th to show you how to market them. Mm. Katrina and I are with Easy Marketing. We're located in Northeast Florida with clients throughout the US and abroad. We specialize in website design and maintenance, email marketing, social media management, and graphic design. And if you've been using email but haven't really seen the results that you want, we'd be happy to set up a consultation. We'll take a look at what's working, what's not, and give you some step-by-step advice to help optimize your emails for action. And if you're interested in trying Constant Contact, which is the email service provider that we recommend to all of our non-business, nonprofit and small business clients, we'd be happy to pass along this offer for 30% off your first 3 months. And if you use this link, we will also help kickstart your campaign by designing a custom email template for your organization. So we encourage you to take advantage of that. We're going to do a drawing as we do after every webinar for a free consultation. So check your inbox later today. I'll draw a winner. And again, we're going to include a copy of this slide deck and a replay of the video in case you missed something or you want to share it. So if you need help getting started, if you need full service email marketing, social media, graphic design, or even just a consultation to point in the right direction, here's our contact information. We're just a call away. So Katrina and I thank you for joining us, and we will see you back in 2 weeks.